When the heat hits, something shifts inside your body that most people don't understand or prepare for properly. Your organs start working harder than they do in normal temperatures. Your heart pumps faster and faster. Your blood pressure climbs. Your kidneys have to work overtime filtering fluids. And if you're over 65, the warning signs that you're in real danger are often so quiet and easy to miss that you might not notice them until it's far too late to get help. I'm going to show you the 5 deadly mistakes that kill older adults during heat waves. And I promise you that at least one of them is something you're probably doing right now without even realizing how dangerous it actually is. These aren't just uncomfortable mistakes that make you feel bad. These are the kinds of choices that land people in the hospital or worse. And the shocking part is that most of them are completely preventable if you know what to watch for and what to avoid. Heat is fundamentally different for older bodies than it is for younger people. When you're 65 or older, your body doesn't cool itself the way it used to when you were 30 or 40. Your sweat response slows down dramatically, which means you might not sweat even when your body is becoming dangerously hot. Your thirst mechanism becomes less reliable, which is a real problem because it means you can be severely dehydrated without even feeling thirsty at all. Your blood vessels don't dilate as efficiently to release heat from your body to the air around you, and your body's overall ability to sense temperature changes decreases significantly. This isn't weakness or failure on your part. This is just how aging works. This is biology. But here's what most people don't understand, and this is crucial to your safety. The danger during a heat wave isn't always the heat itself. The real danger is the combination of heat with specific mistakes that your body can't recover from the way a younger person's body could bounce back and survive. That's where this becomes truly serious and life-threatening. The first deadly mistake is not drinking enough water, but not in the way you probably think it works. Most older adults have been told that they need to drink 8 glasses of water every single day, and many of them actually do drink that amount consistently. But during a heat wave, that baseline amount is not nearly enough to keep your body safe. You need significantly more water than usual during hot weather. The reason is actually quite simple when you understand the physiology. When your body is in extreme heat, water isn't just going into your system and sitting there passively. It's being used constantly and actively to cool you down through sweating and through internal cooling processes that happen inside your cells. Your kidneys are filtering more fluids than usual. Your blood volume needs to expand to deliver oxygen to all your tissues more efficiently. Your cardiovascular system is working harder, and if you don't replace that water fast enough, you become dehydrated at a cellular level long before you ever feel thirsty enough to reach for a glass. This is where the trap happens, and this is where older adults get into serious trouble. By the time you feel thirsty during a heat wave, you're already in trouble. Your body is already losing its ability to regulate temperature properly. Your blood is becoming thicker and more concentrated. Your heart has to work harder to pump that thicker blood through your veins. And if you have any heart condition, any history of stroke, any blood pressure issues, or if you're taking multiple medications, this dehydration can trigger a medical emergency that happens so fast you might not even realize what's happening until you collapse or lose consciousness. Your family might not understand what happened. The paramedics might not immediately connect it to heat and dehydration if you haven't told them you weren't drinking enough water. But the reality is that your organs are being damaged by the dehydration, and that damage accumulates quickly once dehydration reaches a certain level. Here's the second mistake, and this one is incredibly common and dangerous. Staying inside with air conditioning, but not drinking water because it's cool and comfortable inside. This is dangerous in a way that's almost invisible and insidious. When you're in air conditioning, you don't feel hot on your skin. Your body doesn't send the same heat alert signals to your brain, so you don't feel thirsty. You might go hours and hours without drinking anything at all, thinking you're fine and safe because you're comfortable in your climate-controlled home. But outside, the heat is still affecting your body in ways you can't see or feel. Your medications are still working in that hot environment outside if you venture out. And your hydration needs haven't changed one bit just because you're in a cool room. The air conditioning creates a false sense of safety that's actually quite dangerous. You're not sweating visibly, so you think you're not losing fluids, but you are still losing fluids through your skin and your breath and your normal bodily processes, even in air conditioning. Older adults in air-conditioned homes during heat waves become severely dehydrated without even knowing it's happening. They feel fine because they're comfortable. They don't feel hot. They don't feel thirsty. But their bodies are actually becoming progressively more depleted of the water and electrolytes they need. Then something happens. They go outside for a few minutes. The air conditioning unit fails for a while. They feel a little lightheaded and try to stand up quickly, or they exert themselves a little bit. And suddenly their body can't handle the transition from that cool, safe environment to the real world. Their blood pressure crashes suddenly. They get dizzy and disoriented. They lose their balance. They fall. And a fall in an older adult can mean a broken hip, a serious head injury, internal bleeding, or something even worse. The air conditioning creates a false sense of safety that's actually quite dangerous when combined with dehydration. The third mistake is one that involves medications. And this is where your doctor's advice matters tremendously, but also where you really need to be your own advocate and ask questions. Many medications that older adults take on a regular basis make you more sensitive to heat and its effects on your body. Blood pressure medications can make you more vulnerable. Medications for depression and anxiety affect your heat tolerance. Certain pain medications reduce your body's ability to regulate heat. Medications for bladder control and urinary issues affect hydration. Antihistamines for allergies impair sweating. The list goes on and on. Some medications also reduce your ability to sweat effectively, which means your body loses one of its main cooling mechanisms. If you're taking multiple medications, which most people over 65 are, the combination effect can be quite serious and hard to predict. Here's the thing that most doctors don't emphasize enough, and this is critical information. During a heat wave, these medications don't change their strength or their potency. They work just as powerfully as they always do, but your body's tolerance for that power decreases significantly in the heat. So a dose of blood pressure medication that's perfectly safe and appropriate in normal temperatures can cause your blood pressure to drop dangerously low when it's hot outside and you're dehydrated. You get lightheaded and dizzy. You fall and hit your head. You have a stroke or a heart attack or a serious cardiac event. And nobody connects it to the heat and the medication combination because most people don't realize that connection even exists. If you're taking medications, you need to talk to your doctor or pharmacist about how your specific drugs interact with heat and high temperatures. Don't just assume it's fine. Ask the question directly. Don't accept a vague answer. Get specifics. The fourth mistake is one that surprises people, but it's deadly. Drinking alcohol during a heat wave. I'm not talking about getting drunk or having a wild time. I'm talking about having a single glass of wine or a beer on a hot day, thinking it's refreshing or that it helps you relax. But alcohol is a diuretic, which means it makes your body lose water through urination faster than normal. When it's hot, your body is already losing water constantly through sweating and through your skin and through your breath. Add alcohol to that situation and you're losing water at an accelerated rate while replacing it with something that actually doesn't hydrate you at all. In fact, it makes things worse. You become dehydrated faster than you realize. And because alcohol also impairs your judgment and your balance and your coordination, you might not notice the early warning signs of heat-related illness that would normally alert you to the danger. You get confused and think it's just the alcohol making you tired or silly. You get dizzy and think you just need to sit down for a minute. You get hot and disoriented and think you just need to cool off. By the time you realize something serious is happening to your body is already in real crisis. Heat stroke can develop in hours when you're not paying attention. And for older adults, heat stroke can be fatal. I know people love their drinks, and I'm not trying to shame anyone, but during a heat wave, alcohol is genuinely dangerous for your body's ability to stay hydrated and cool. The fifth mistake is ignoring early warning signs, because you think you're tough, or because you don't want to be a burden to your family, or because you're afraid of being hospitalized. Heat exhaustion and heat stroke don't announce themselves with dramatic symptoms that scare you immediately. They creep up gradually. You might feel a little tired, so you think you just need a nap. You might feel a bit confused or foggy, so you think you're just distracted or forgetful. You might get a mild headache and take some pain medication. You might feel slightly nauseous and skip a meal. You might feel weak. You might feel your heart racing. These early signs are your body's way of sending an emergency signal that your internal cooling system is struggling and breaking down. But many older adults ignore them because they've spent their whole lives pushing through discomfort and not complaining. Or because they don't want their family to worry about them. Or because they're afraid of being hospitalized or losing their independence. So they sit quietly and tough it out. They tell themselves it's nothing serious. They minimize what they're feeling. And then they cross a line from heat exhaustion into heat stroke. And that's when things become truly dangerous and life-threatening. Heat stroke means your body temperature has risen so high that your brain and your organs are being actively damaged. You become delirious and confused. You might have seizures, your heart can fail, your kidneys can shut down, and if you don't get immediate medical help, you can die. The problem is that by the time heat stroke is obvious and undeniable, it's often too late. The damage is done. Here's what makes these 5 mistakes so deadly when they combine together, and this is the real revelation about heat waves. They work together as a dangerous system. You're not drinking enough water because you feel safe and comfortable in your air-conditioned home. You're taking medications that make you more sensitive to heat without realizing it. You might have had a glass of wine because you weren't thinking clearly about the dangers. And then you ignore the early warning signs because you don't want to make a big deal out of feeling tired or confused. These mistakes don't operate in isolation from each other. They stack on top of each other. The dehydration from the medication gets worse because you're not drinking enough water to compensate. The impaired judgment from the alcohol makes you less likely to notice the heat exhaustion creeping in. The false security from the air conditioning makes you think you don't need to take precautions. And by the time your body is sending serious and undeniable warning signals, you're already in danger. So what does actual prevention look like in real life? It's not complicated or difficult, but it requires you to be intentional and deliberate. First, you have to drink more water than you think you need during a heat wave. Not just the standard 8 glasses that people talk about. You need to be drinking water consistently throughout the day, even if you don't feel thirsty. If you have heart disease or kidney disease, talk to your doctor about how much water is right for you specifically, because more water isn't always the answer for everyone with those conditions. But for most people without those conditions, the answer is to drink significantly more water than usual. Drink water before breakfast. Drink water with breakfast. Drink water mid-morning. Drink water with lunch. Drink water mid-afternoon. Drink water with dinner. Don't wait until you're thirsty. Make it a habit. Second, you need to stay cool and monitor your body temperature carefully during heat waves. This doesn't mean you have to leave your home or go to a cooling center if you don't want to, but you need to make sure your living space stays cool enough to be safe. If you don't have air conditioning, find a place that does during the hottest parts of the day. A library, a mall, a community center, a friend's house, anywhere with air conditioning. Just make sure you're in a cool environment during the peak heat hours. Third, you need to know your medications and understand how they interact with heat. Make a list of all the medications you take. Call your doctor or pharmacist. Ask specifically about heat sensitivity. Ask whether your medications increase your risk during heat waves. And ask what changes you should make to your routine or your medication schedule during extreme heat. Fourth, avoid alcohol completely during heat waves. I know that's not what people want to hear, but your safety is more important than a single drink or a glass of wine. Your life is more important. And fifth, you need to recognize the early warning signs of heat illness and take them seriously every single time you notice them. Don't minimize them. Don't tell yourself it's nothing. Don't toughen it out. Take heat symptoms seriously. The warning signs of heat exhaustion are heavy sweating, weakness, cold and clammy skin, a fast and weak pulse, nausea, dizziness, and muscle cramps. If you experience these symptoms, you need to cool down immediately. Get to air conditioning right away. Drink cool water slowly. Take a cool shower or bath. Put cool wet cloths on your skin. Lie down and elevate your feet. Don't push through it thinking you'll feel better in a few minutes on your own. Take it seriously and act on it. If the symptoms don't improve within 30 minutes of cooling down, or if they get worse instead of better, you need to call 911 immediately. Don't wait. Don't think you're overreacting. Call for help. Don't drive yourself to the hospital if you're confused or dizzy, because that's dangerous. The warning signs of heat stroke are different and much more serious. If you stop sweating even though you're hot, and you should be sweating, if your body temperature is very high, if you're confused or delirious or saying things that don't make sense, if you have a severe headache, if you have trouble breathing, if your skin is hot and dry instead of sweaty, if your heart is racing, if you lose consciousness or pass out, that's a medical emergency. Call 911 immediately. Don't try to cool down at home. Don't wait and see if it gets better on its own. Don't hope it will pass. Get emergency help right now. Have someone stay with you. Tell them what's happening. Here's something else that matters tremendously. You need to tell someone where you are during a heat wave and have them check on you regularly. If you live alone, this is especially important and potentially life-saving. Check in with a family member or friend every single day when it's hot outside. Have them check on you. Don't be embarrassed about this. Don't think you're being a burden. There are older adults who die alone during heat waves because nobody knew they were in trouble. If you can, have someone visit you in person during extreme heat so they can see that you're okay with their own eyes. If that's not possible, at minimum have someone call you or video call you every day so they can see that you're functioning normally and you're okay. If you stop answering, or if you seem confused or slurring your words when they call, they'll know to send help immediately. This is not weakness or neediness. This is strategy. This is how you survive heat waves. This is how you protect yourself. Humans are social creatures. We need each other. During emergencies, this is especially true. Don't isolate yourself. Don't tell yourself you don't need help. Reach out. Ask for check-ins. Accept help. These are strengths, not weaknesses. I want to be honest about something important. Some of you watching this are thinking, I've lived through hot summers my whole life. I'm not going to change how I live just because of a heat wave. I understand that impulse completely. You've survived a lot. You're strong. You're independent. You've taken care of yourself for decades. But your body has changed, and the heat hasn't gotten any cooler. In fact, heat waves are getting more intense and more dangerous with climate change. The combination of your aging body and extreme heat is genuinely dangerous in ways that it wasn't when you were younger, and your body could cool itself more efficiently. This isn't about being weak or admitting defeat. It's about being smart. It's about understanding how your body works now and making intelligent adjustments accordingly. You wouldn't drive a car that you drove 50 years ago without getting it maintained and serviced properly first. You wouldn't ignore warning lights on your dashboard thinking they'd go away on their own. You wouldn't use the same fuel or the same oil that worked 50 years ago. Your body is the same. It's a system that needs maintenance and attention and awareness. It needs care, and when warning signs appear, you need to respond to them intelligently rather than ignoring them and hoping they go away. The beautiful thing about preventing heat-related illness is that it's almost entirely in your control. You can't change the weather, you can't change the fact that you're older, but you can drink water, you can stay cool, you can know your medications, you can avoid alcohol, you can recognize warning signs early, you can tell someone where you are and have them check on you, you can call 911 if you need help. These are all things you can do right now. They don't require money or special equipment or fancy technology. They just require awareness and intention and willingness to take action. And the payoff is enormous. The payoff is staying healthy. The payoff is staying independent. The payoff is being able to enjoy your summer without fear or illness. The payoff is being able to spend time with your grandchildren or your friends. The payoff is not having to go to the hospital. The payoff is being alive and healthy and able to do the things you love. Think about what happens if you don't make these changes. I'm not trying to scare you, but I need you to understand the stakes clearly. A heat-related illness can mean hospitalization. It can mean weeks or months in the hospital. It can mean complications from that hospitalization that affect your health for the rest of your life. It can mean a fall and a broken bone. It can mean a stroke or a heart attack or cardiac arrest. It can mean permanent damage to your brain or your kidneys or your heart. It can mean death. And all of it is preventable. All of it. Every single bit of it can be prevented by making smart choices starting today. You have the power to protect yourself right now, not tomorrow, not next week, today. This is your life we're talking about. This is your independence and your freedom. This is your ability to be there for the people you love and who love you. It matters. So here's what I want you to do starting today. Don't wait. Don't put this off. Check your medications and call your pharmacist or your doctor if you don't know how they interact with heat. Ask the questions. Write down the answers. Make a plan for how you'll stay cool during the day. Decide who you're going to check in with during heat waves. Commit to drinking more water than feels comfortable, starting right now before the heat even gets bad. Don't wait for a heat wave to make these changes. Make them now while the stakes feel distant and the heat hasn't arrived yet. That way, when the heat hits, and your judgment might be compromised, and your body is struggling, you'll already have habits in place that protect you. You won't have to think about it. You'll just do it, because it's what you've been doing all along. I'm genuinely curious about your experience with heat and hot weather. In the comments below, tell me, have you ever felt the effects of extreme heat? Have you experienced heat exhaustion, or known someone who did? Do you live in a hot climate where this is a constant concern year after year? Or is heat something that hits you suddenly in the summer months? What strategies do you already use to stay safe during hot weather? There's what's worked for you. Your experience might help someone else realize they're not alone in this struggle, and it might give someone the idea they need to protect themselves better. Your comment could genuinely help save someone's life. Heat waves are coming. They're getting more intense. And if you're over 65, your body is more vulnerable than you might realize. But you're not helpless. You're not passive. You have knowledge now. You have a plan. You know the 5 mistakes that kill people, and you know how to avoid them. You know what to drink. You know what to watch for. You know when to call for help. You know who to tell. That's everything you need. That's your power. Use it. Protect yourself. Stay cool. Stay hydrated. Stay aware. And stay safe this summer and every summer after. Thank you so much for watching. If this helped you, please let me know in the comments. And if you want more information about staying healthy during extreme temperatures, or if you want to learn about other health risks that older adults often miss, please subscribe, because we're covering these critical topics every single week. Your health and your life matter. Take care of yourself.